Hi, my name is Anuska and welcome to my channel. And on today's video, I want to talk all about vocal resonance. It's something that I talk a lot about, finding your resonant voice, and it's so important for speakers. So in this video, I want to talk more about what it is, how to find it, and also things that we know hinder finding our most resonant voice. So first of all, why does it matter for speech? A voice that is resonant is rich, it's effortlessly powerful, it's expressive, and it's clear. It's also vibrant, it's engaging, and it comes alive. And it's really what every speaker wants and is at the core and the heart of what I teach with private clients. Now, all voices have some degree of resonance, but most likely the voices that you most enjoy listening to are probably very resonant. So what does it mean when we say vocal resonance? So optimal vocal resonance is the ability to consistently amplify, enhance, and enrich the vibrations produced by the vocal folds or vocal cords as we move from sound to sound in speech. Now, what's really interesting is at the source of the sound, at the larynx level or the voice box level, we all basically sound the same. It's a kind of buzzing sound. And it's actually the filter or the vocal tract that modifies, enhances, and shapes the sound. And that's what gives our voice its unique quality. It's also what allows the voice to be its most resonant. So as an example, if I was to get a transplant of Beyonce's larynx tomorrow, I would not sound like Beyonce because it's not happening at the laryngeal level. It's happening in terms of how the sound is filtered. Okay, so let's talk about what hinders vocal resonance. And I'm going to give you 6 things to think about in terms of how we can really hold back that resonance. So first of all, tension and constriction in the vocal mechanism. Now, this could be in the jaw, in the tongue, in the soft palate, in the lips. It could also be things that are kind of connected to our vocal mechanism, so neck muscles, shoulders, chest, etc., etc. So any sort of tension in the vocal mechanism, any unnecessary constriction will reduce our ability to access that full resonant voice. Now, I've done many videos on particularly the articulators, so the jaw, the tongue, the lips, and also the throat. So if you're interested in those, they are big topics in their own right. So please do look at my videos on those topics. Number 2 is lack of space. So if you think about it from, say, the musical instrument world, the difference, say, between a violin and a double bass is a lot bigger. It's a much bigger, deeper sound than a violin. And it's the same with us. The bigger the space, the bigger the sound. So often when the voice is not resonant or not as resonant as it could be, it's because we're not creating as much space as we could. That could be through not opening the jaw much. It could be through not moving the lips much, as examples. So lack of space is a big one, and that's number 2. So number 3 is pitch. Now, if your pitch is too high or too low, your voice is not going to be as resonant as it could. We all have an optimal natural pitch for our voice, where it sits, where it functions at its best. Now, this doesn't mean that you speak in a monotone voice at this pitch, but it's where you want that kind of home base baseline pitch to be. And then you can go up and you can go down from that pitch. Sometimes when clients come to me and they think that their pitch is too high, it's actually more of a resonance issue than a pitch issue. Because if the instrument is constricted and tight and tense and there's not enough space, then you're never going to have that full, rich sound. And it's got nothing to do with the pitch that you're speaking at. Number 4 is articulation. And again, I've done videos pretty much on all these topics, to be honest. So articulation, hugely important for resonance because resonance and articulation are functionally intertwined. So if you're not articulating fully and intentionally, you're going to find your voice just doesn't resonate as well as it could. Articulation, of course, is required for forming and shaping vowels and consonants. And we want to ensure we seamlessly move between these sounds when we speak and continuously enhance and enrich that tone. So how we articulate is really important. So number 5 is we don't have a balance of resonance in the voice. And you can think about resonance in kind of 3 main areas. So the lower part, which could be the chest area, the middle part, which we can think about the mouth area, and then the higher part, which you can think about as the kind of head, sort of nasal area. Now, if your voice is very nasal, it's not going to be particularly resonant because we know the nasal cavity is not an efficient resonator. If the voice is very mouthy, it might sound a little bit over precise and very prissy. And then if it's very chesty, it could be very heavy, very dramatic. So really we want a lovely blend of all 3 to really allow the voice to ring and to resonate. And finally, and this is something I pretty much work with every single person on, is we want the sound forward. We want the sound, we want to feel the sound forward in the mouth when we speak. And often what I hear in people is a sound that's pulled back into the back of the throat. And that's where you can end up with a kind of raspy, croaky voice. You can go into that vocal fry. The voice can sound a bit strained or squeezed. So we really want to bring the sound forward wherever we are sort of feeling the resonance in the voice. So we're always thinking of a forward focus. So how do we begin to find a more resonant voice? Well, a resonant voice is a voice rich in harmonics, meaning there's multi-layers of sound. And so this is where we really want to access those different areas that we just spoke about in terms of resonance activity and really get them working together, because that's when you're really going to get a richness of tone. You're going to get depth, you're going to get color, you're going to get brightness, you're going to get everything. So just as a reminder, so we've got that chestier resonant place, that low part of the voice, which is going to give the voice depth and richness. Then we've got that middle part of the voice we can think about around the mouth area, and that's going to give the voice clarity and precision, and it's also going to help bring the voice forward, because in all of these areas we want to think about a forward focus when we speak. And finally, that higher resonant place, that nasal area, is going to give the voice brightness and really the ability to cut through sound and to project more effortlessly. So when you combine all 3, that's when the voice really has that ring and that richness and that depth. So how do we access these? So we're just going to go through each one, and then you can start to kind of feel this in your own voice. So to start with, put your hands on your chest. And I'd just like you to say an ah, 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 and feel the vibrations in your chest. Ah, ah. Now these are, of course, sympathetic vibrations. There isn't any vocal folds in your chest, but you should feel some tingling or some vibration in your upper chest. And then you can go from an ah to a yeah, yeah, and really feel that chest buzzing. So that's that chest resonance that we were talking about. So just play around with that, and then you can start to apply this on other words, on other, not just ah and yeah, but they're really helpful just to get into that spot. Then you can start to speak and see if you can feel a bit of vibration going on in your chest. The next one is the middle part of the voice, which is the mouth area. And what I'd like you to do here is just say a mum, but I'd like you to linger on the M first of all. So it's a mum, mum. Now, if you don't feel the vibrations, linger on the M more, because the M should immediately bring the sound forward, and there should be a bit of a tingle around your mouth and your nose. And actually what you can do is put your hands over your mouth and your nose so you can feel it. Mum, mum. And again, just get used to that feeling. So we're really bringing awareness to these different parts and allowing ourselves to feel the vibrations. And then finally, this kind of higher resonant area, I'd like you to do an M, you're going to arc the sound. So you're going to start high and come a bit lower. So, So we call this arcing the sound. Now, if you put your fingers in your ears, it's going to sound a bit weird, put your fingers in your ears, you'll hopefully feel the vibrations in your head a bit more and in your nose. Because sometimes that can be hard to feel these different areas. So have a go with those. Go through each one, make sure you can kind of really feel those vibrations. Then you can try and move between all three. So you're going to start forward, go up into the head, and then down into the chest. So you're going to do this on an so a Now, all the while, whether you are more mouth focused, sort of head focused, or chest focused, you're always thinking about the sound being forward. So, So just to start to explore your voice and allow that movement of sound and just notice what happens. And then you can try and put this into actual speech. Keep it really, really simple, but see if you can find that forwardness, then go up into the head and sort of down into the chest. So if I was to say something like, my name is Anuska, so I'm allowing the sound to be forward, I'm allowing it to go up a little bit and down into the chest. My name is Anuska. So have a go with that. And I'd love to know how you get on. If this is all new to you, then that's probably more than enough to be working on. But if this is something that you really want some help with, I do honestly recommend working privately with a teacher. You know, and I know that sounds very self-serving, but whoever it is, it really is very hard to do this on your own, because often we particularly if we're not used to working on our voice, we often don't have much awareness of our voice. So I really do recommend, if this is really important for you and you want to find more resonance in your voice, find a teacher to help you, because it's so worth it. Your voice will not only feel better and sound better, but it will last longer. You'll be able to just speak for longer without fatigue. So thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you on my next video.